1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to a new season of podcast. It will be a little different this time around. We'll no longer be live streaming them. We'll be recording them using Zoom, so they'll be limited to just 40 minutes at a time, so you won't have the 15-hour epics we normally do. Well, after I've edited out all my mistakes anyway, it'll probably be just Seamus signing in, saying hello and goodbye, won't it? Like, let's be honest. So most of all, though, you know that I noticed we now have video. We've finally moved into the 21st century, just 25 years after everyone else. For this first one, we thought we would bring Sexy back, but unfortunately Billy is busy, so we got stuck with Seamus instead. So apologies for that. As you can see, he's really let himself go since his model career's ended, unfortunately. I mean, he hasn't even washed his lip. Look at it. See that thing there? Anyway, so how are you, Seamus?
Oh, I'm very good. Fine. Thank you for a very good welcome, Chris.
It's all right, mate. I always like to make you feel welcome.
Yeah. No comments on my looks.
Oh.
Nothing.
Oh, what happened there? You vanished for a second. That was weird.
No, I think
he's showing off the view out of his window.
No, he just couldn't handle the sexy on the upper lip.
It's the he's just showing off your garden there, aren't you, in the background? I tell you what, if I start looking like I'm about to combust doing this, by the way, I apologise, but I had to turn the AC off because you couldn't hear anything over it. Like, it kept coming through the speaker, the sound. It's like 50 degrees here today, so it's quite hot here without the AC on. Starting to build up a bit of a sweater. So yeah, so apologies. Anyway, should we start? Well, we might as well just get straight into it then. So we're going to talk about Liverpool's first signing of the summer, Jeremie Frimpong, the former City youngster who was desperate to join the Reds. But what does he offer them? What do you think? Apart from being a Liverpool fan, obviously he was desperate to join. What do you think?
My personal opinion on him, since like 2 years back, I think when we United were first linked to him with all the Dutch connection, is a very attacking fullback. He's not even actually a fullback. He's more of a wingback or an attacker kind of a profile. That anyone can argue in any which way, but he has never played at the highest level in a back four. That's the most important thing we have to consider when we are looking at him. I always for United.
I'm going to just say one thing on this. According to WhoScored.com, I had a look at this before, when I was I had a look checked out all the things. And according to them, he has played right back in the back four at the highest level in the last couple of seasons. He's also played right back, right wing back, right midfield, right wing, and attacking midfield for Leverkusen. Very versatile, but
very versatile, but it's always been a question mark on him. It's something he can show to us. He can prove the naysayers like us, the doubters like us wrong. He can turn us around, obviously, because I am fully expecting this will be probably the first time when he will play in a team that plays with a back four system. Netherlands don't play exclusively in a back four system. Yeah, you might have a couple of games, something. Celtic is not the highest level. Come on.
But they did play in Europe, so we did get some games in Europe for them. Because obviously it's a one-team league, so they qualified for Europe.
In Europe. They're horrible in Europe.
I know.
They're worse than the rankings. It's that is why I emphasize on the highest level.
But he would have got practice defending in Europe for them.
Well, their records is not so well.
I'm just pointing out he has played in the back four, so it's not like he's not a back four player. He can play it, But I don't think do you not think he's in part being signed as cover for Mo Salah for the AFCON as well? With that in mind, because obviously Liverpool have already got Bradley.
Yeah, it could very well be that they see him as someone who can share minutes with both Bradley and Salah at times.
Mm.
Maybe give Salah 15 minutes off at the end of the game.
Yeah,
Who knows?
exactly. Yeah. And he's good friends with Florian Wirtz as well and links up well with him.
Well, if you go down that route when you're signing
No,
players, then
he links up well with
then
him.
I
They
then
know
I,
each
I will
other well.
just give you 2 words: Man United.
Yeah, I'm just saying he links up well with when they play together. They do play together. You know what I mean? Like you see, sometimes certain players do work well with other
Oh my
players, and those
God!
two work
Even
well.
you only have to take this in. If you're signing the British record transfer, if you're bringing him in, you can't look at another player
Ooh, hang
and
on.
use this.
Hang on,
No,
just
no.
before you, I
Listen
know
to
what
me.
you're
Listen to me.
saying, but it's what they
He
always used to do.
works.
It's what they always used to do when they were bringing in like a foreign player. They always used to Jack Charlton, all them, he told me that himself. So this isn't like nonsense. He told me himself he'd always look to bring in someone who was the same nationality. It's something they've all done. Is they bring in someone who just be, just to be a friend to them, what I mean, help them settle in because it'd make it easier for them to get their, find their feet when they're coming from a foreign country to seeing this game. And so it could help. You're paying that much money for Florian Wirtz. I don't think it's a problem to pay 30 million for a player to help him settle and make sure he plays well because he's going to be key to Liverpool this next season, isn't he? Wirtz.
No, no, I understand what you're saying. It should be a factor that you use at the last stage when you're deciding between two players.
Hmm.
You think both players are similar, then you start with, are they familiar with the manager? Are they
Hmm.
playing in a similar system, or are they playing in a different system? Let's say, like I'll use United as an example. If we are looking at a striker from Premier League, Watkins, Mateta. Okay, Mateta plays at three in the back system, is
Hmm.
slightly cheap. Watkins hasn't played three at the back system, slightly expensive. Then I will go to Mateta. But
Hmm.
if the debate is Mateta is cheap, but Watkins is twice the player, then Watkins you have to go for him. I'm not saying you should not sign players with that criteria. I'm just saying that criteria should not come
I,
into
I don't think that
equation
criteria came
in
into
the
it because
beginning.
Frimpong was done
I'm
long
not saying
before we
I'm
even
not saying
moved
that
for Wirtz.
we should not use that
Yeah. I'm just
for
saying it's
either
going to
player.
be a
It
help
could
for
be
him in the
yeah.
season.
And I'm
That's
just
all.
saying it's a road you should rather not explore.
I'm quite
Okay,
sure
I'm
that
letting
had
you
no
go as a
bearing
Man
on him.
United supporter. We've been burned many times by this, but
Hmm.
we should go back to Frimpong and save words for later.
But I was going to say the thing with him though, he does look like a good character, which obviously Liverpool have a lot of their success has been built around having the right characters in the team. So with Robertson coming to the end of his time and the few others, Salah obviously and Van Dijk. They haven't got long left. You need to replace the characters with some more character. You know what I mean? Some more in.
And
Yeah.
he's a good age. He's like you already said, his versatility it has to be
Mhm.
a factor, especially when you look at someone like Bradley already being in the squad.
Yeah. Yeah. We only need someone to push him or take his place if he's not living up to and someone to cover. We needed someone to cover when Salah's away. We needed, he offers a lot of flexibility to the squad. He improves it. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't push on and take on a first team place straight away, I mean, the question of defending thing. I mean, we all know that that's one thing that is said to it. That's he's not the best, and we know he's not the best tackler in the world. He tends to stay on his feet well, but he doesn't tend to. That's not how he's not one. But is that because of the position he was playing, or is that because of his actual play? That's the question that we're all going to wait to see, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's a similar situation like with Trent now. Like, is it the player? Is it the
Mm.
system? Is it a bit of both? Is it application? Is it coaching? Like, we have very, very different ways that we can look at it. But up until now, his defending is something anyone can question, but
Oh,
is like I said, my doubts creep in because of his attacking play, of his suspect defensive
mm,
outputs, but because I said, like I said, he's played mostly as wing back, midfielder, winger,
mm,
but then that is also the thing I have to, even me as a doubter, I have to consider is he has not been asked to do the defending, the role that a fullback
mm.
is expected to. Maybe he just hasn't shown it because it hasn't been necessitated for him. Maybe
Um,
now that it is something, it is something I will be watching with interested eyes. That is the
um,
most important thing.
we could return to the kind of Klopp system where, again, he's not asked to do much of that defending again, where he's to a similar way that Klopp played his fullbacks, all out attack. So that he's not asked to do that much defending as well. It does seem like with the arrival of Kirkes as well, it does seem like there's not going to be much of a place for defending in the fullback area, is there? In terms of the fullbacks doing it.
I am super interested to see how this Liverpool team is gonna set up because this my feeling is this team is playing for a 5-4-5-3-4-2 game, not
Yeah, it
not
looks
a
like it,
2-1.
doesn't it?
It's not even a 2-1 team. I am really thinking like there's gonna be a lot of Norwich games.
Oh, I'm
Like, do you
thinking,
remember the one which Klopp
yeah,
broke his glasses on? Like
Kevin Keegan's
crazy.
Newcastle. That's what it's starting to look like, isn't it? It's starting to look like he's had a look at that and gone, you know what? I think I could make that work.
No, I think he just said, "Do you know what? I would love it." I think he's like, I would love it if if we get one over on everyone with this.
It'd be great if we could win it by entertaining and shut up everyone that moaned about him. I mean, some of the comments you see are ridiculous. Oh, they're the ones about they just found they're not that good. They just found a way to win. Well, isn't that what Isn't that good? Because that's what you're meant to do. I mean, it's like people have forgotten that comment always comes from Arsenal fans, incidentally, who seem to forget that the idea of football is to win because they were the best team in Europe last season. So they seem to think that
No,
not
it
winning
is
makes
something.
them the best.
It is something I've said as well. Like the quality of the league doesn't look as good as the league doesn't look as strong as it used to in the past 5-6 years. But the same argument is very weak when we look at the players that are leaving the league and getting an upgrade from mid-table Premier League teams.
Mm,
Housen, like Bournemouth.
exactly.
The whole Bournemouth team is getting pushed
Sabanian.
by super teams.
Yeah.
How
PSG are
much
trying
can
to buy
I, as an
Sabanian.
AFC, argue about the weakness of league when a team that didn't even get into Europe is getting players pushed by European contenders, European champions, Premier League champions, like
Yeah,
talent
sure.
galore.
Yeah, it's the top teams are trying to buy their players because this is what I don't understand. People are saying it's not as good, and do you know what? I can see the argument, but I think they're missing the fact that it's because the lower teams have improved so much. They've made it look not so good, and I think that's going to be the problem next year. Is we might start to see it return a bit more back to the way it was, where it was just a couple of teams running away at the top and everybody sitting because of their all the Bournemouth, etc. It's going to take them a while, like Palace did last season, where it took them a while to get going again because they'd lost players and they had to reset. They had to reshuffle and organise and get themselves back going again. I think that.
Yeah, Bournemouth. We can't be critical. We can't be surprised if Bournemouth had a slow start to the season or even a terrible campaign.
Yeah,
Brentford have lost their manager, probably most likely going to lose
yeah,
their star player. Palace have European football to contend with. Forest have European football to contend with. Like there are many factors that could, in theory, just make the lesser fancy team, the poorer teams. poorer in quotation marks because nobody in Premier League is poor, but even Wolves have lost the best player.
Yeah, true. We'll do him. We'll probably do it. He'll probably be the next
Not
podcast we do, I think, couldn't you?
the pretenders, the European pretenders have at least on paper gotten weaker.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of sad, really, because it would have been nice to have them improving rather than backwards and making it more of a battle for the top, like it used to be in the when before the Premier League came in. It used to be much you'd have teams like Norwich could come second the year, really push all the way out of nowhere. They could come out of nowhere literally and just be up there, or Forest or whoever could win it. You know what I mean? Villa could turn it up and win it one year. Just because they got it right. Held on to their best players, and it's not happening anymore. Anyway, back to Frimpong because so I was trying to think what else. I mean, obviously we know about the utility, and he's got experience of winning titles. He's fast. I mean, he's extremely fast.
This is what I was actually gonna bring against my own argument about his defensive weaknesses.
Mm.
We've always, like you and I both, have been way less critical about Trent's defending than most of the internet, most
Yeah.
of the media. But one thing that Trent lacks and that Frimpong has in abundance is raw
Mm.
pace.
Yeah. Bradley
How
as well
much
has
of
got it,
that
which
raw pace?
helped.
Yeah, how much of that raw pace is speed, and how much of that is recovery pace as well? I
Mm.
am really interested because not every player is quick two ways on the field.
Yeah.
Very few players are as fast coming back as they are
That's
bounding forward.
very true. There's a lot of players that will saunter on the way back when when all they needed to do was put a bit of effort in.
Yeah, like it's almost a running joke here, but that is why I like Soboslai the player because
Yes.
of his immense speed when he's coming back.
Oh, it's incredible. He looks like he's absolutely killing himself when he's chasing back. Whereas he never looks to be working quite so hard when he's going forward. He always seems like he's got a little bit of, he's holding a bit back in case he needs to sprint when he's going forward. Whereas when he's getting back, he does look like he's all in, isn't he? You know what I mean? You don't question his work rate at all defensively. Which is why I think he might actually have a good future in a deeper midfield position. In the deeper central midfield role.
Now this is where actually I think words is gonna come into the picture for Frimpong because Soboslai used to cover back
Yeah.
immensely bombing for fullbacks. Now
Mm.
is the Liverpool defense gonna get the same protection if or when Soboslai isn't on the field because you have
Yeah.
other options playing? Because no matter how good Wirtz is, Gravy is, McAllister is, Jones is, they're not the same. Just the physical presence of being in their position. Maybe
Mm.
you're not as astute defensively. Maybe you're not as good at tackling or anything else. And just the sheer factor of being there as in position, for at least for
Yeah.
the defenders to guide you around, at least for you to just hamper the guy that is running at you, maybe slow him down, maybe divert him or anything, caught off passing. If Sobi isn't there, with that alter the defensive setup. And I'm sure
Mm.
it's gonna alter the defensive setup because how can it not?
Well, we
The lad
saw it.
is basically the fastest recovery runner.
And when we saw it last season, when he wasn't playing, the period he wasn't in was Liverpool really struggled badly, looked really poor. That was when everything seemed to fall, seemed to look like we were going, legs were going and everything. And he just while we were missing him because there just wasn't the same protection for the defence. We looked really poor without him. He made a huge difference, despite people saying he wasn't scoring enough and stuff. Yeah, but you know, Salah's doing the goal. You don't need him to score. We needed him to protect the. Well, we needed him to put his work rate in, to be there, draw defenders away, and there's a lot more to the game than just to create goals than just scoring and assisting. And sometimes that a player like him, his sheer work rate can do it.
Maybe that was something Liverpool looked at when they considered Frimpong. Maybe he has that same pace running back.
Mm.
Maybe pace is something that he can utilize to get it back in position, or
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
hinder the attack, if not stop it.
Do you know
And
some?
we've seen in Premier League recovery pace works, especially for a
Oh
fullback.
yeah. Oh
Kyle
yeah.
Walker has made a career out of it.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
fooled people
He's never in the
being
right
solid
position,
defense.
but he can chase back. Oh. But I was going to say, I just something that did come up when I was looking on whoscored.com to get his stats off there. And they have like a strengths and weaknesses of the players. And I had to note these down because it made me laugh. The strengths, they put finishing, key passes and dribbling. Weaknesses, holding on to the ball, tackling. And the other one was passing, but they had his key passes down as a strength. So is passing a weakness or a strength? I don't understand how he can how he can be a strength is key passes, but a weakness is passing.
Maybe he's better at crosses, through balls, but he's not good at your sideways and backwards passes. I don't know.
I
But
told him,
but you probably should take some time and look at these wide score profiles on Hoyland, Garnacho. It's hella funny. Strengths. The player has no strengths.
yeah, some of them are brilliant. I know. Yeah, we couldn't find the strength. We watched Garnacho for years, and we're still trying to find one. Yeah, I love. They're brilliant. Yeah, that was it
Even
just made me
I can
laugh
give
because it
one
just
strength for Ghana. He's quick.
yeah, that's true. He's quick. That's true.
But they didn't even credit that.
What was it? They said they do say he does like to cross. That's one thing. I mean, they said because they put like a style of play as well. I just thought so we could have somebody else's input rather than just us, so we could argue about it if we disagree. Like with our
But
input, they say he
crossing
likes
is
to
not.
dribble, likes to
It's
play.
not gonna be a strength for him there at Liverpool because he's replacing one of the best guys that could from there.
Yeah.
It's it's very big shoes to fill.
Well, we've
That is
already.
why I wasn't even mentioning his attacking game, because no matter how good he is, the only thing he can be is he can be different. Because
10 minutes
I'm
left.
sorry, like it's the thing right now to dump on him, to dunk hate on Trent and everything. But everything aside, the guy was fantastic with the ball,
Oh
fantastic at
yeah.
attacking phases. Like no one can take that away from him. You can hate him as much as you want, say things, but it's 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 a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact that he's outright the best right back in possession.
The attack was built around his delivery. Let's be honest, because he could just he could pick someone out of nowhere, and it was 1 minute he's in his own half, and he suddenly picks somebody out.
Was it the last game? Was it the last game or the second last game? Like when even Klopp was going crazy with the passing, just laid on to for Nunes to fluff. Like
It's frustrating to watch Nunes miss them. Yeah, so that was the problem. But obviously Virts will probably
nobody
take it.
can see that pass.
They'll probably.
So it's gonna be an unfair comparison for
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Bradley's shown the same thing. He couldn't replicate it either. So we're going to have to change the way we play. And I think he's more suited to play in the way Bradley plays than the way Trent played anyway. So, if both fullbacks are playing the same way, it's a nice, easy swap to give them a rest, keep them fresh during the season. You can regularly rotate them. If they're both playing the same way, you don't even have to change. You don't even have to change your team setup like we had to do when Bradley came in for Trent. because it's like a totally different play. You know what I mean? They're so different. You couldn't continue playing the same way. Just couldn't, you know. That's why it stopped. You know, when Bradley came in, at first he was coming in, he was trying to do the inverted fullback. It just wasn't working. You know, as soon as he went back to when he just bombs up and down the line, he's great. But yeah, when he's trying to invert, it just doesn't suit him. So I think this will help. It'll actually be an advantage, I think, in some respects. So obviously you're going to miss that
This
passing.
inverted
That
fullback thing is
passing
going
is.
out, no?
Hmm?
This is going out now, this inverted fullback experiment, because
Oh,
Frimpong can't, Lucas can't.
no,
They were
I can't see it anymore. I hope not. Anyway, which would be brilliant for me because I hate it. I really hate it. I think it's the most nonsensical idea ever. It just doesn't make any sense. The only time it makes sense is if you've got four centre backs in your defence. You know, your back line's four centre backs. So they're all happy where they can just rotate in, you know, they could play centre back and right back and centre back and left back. And then as they move out, you know, as they invert, the centre back can just drop into the other position. You know, it's not really a inverted fullback. It's never, you know, that works. It's always like a midfielder or or a centre back moving into stepping forward with the ball. That's the only time it's ever worked to a degree, in my opinion. So I'll be
I
glad to
think
see it go.
even Mr. Pep figured that one out, but it's just taken everyone else to catch up with his own findings. Like, you learn from him, but like, obviously, if there was a fullback in world football that could rival Trent for his on the ball possession, dribbling, passing things, it was Cancelo, who got
Mm.
moved out when City completely became an inverted fullback team. Cancelo.
Yeah, he's probably about as good as it got. He was fantastic. It's such a shame his career nosedived the
But
way it
he got
did.
phased out. But he got phased out from City because
Mm.
Pep moved it inverted fullback thing, and very quickly realized actual fullbacks can't hack it.
Yeah. Yeah, but nobody else seemed to have twigged on. This is what I don't understand. Everyone copies him, but without actually realising it. But the closest I would say, I've got to give, much as I dislike Arteta, you know, I'm not a fan of Arteta. I'm not his biggest fan at all, but at least he has to say, you know, he's playing a right back, a centre back, a right back to invert, to act as an inverted fullback. So at least he's got that
Even as
far
a
on it,
centre back,
but he's,
White earned a move to Arsenal on the basis of being a centre back. Tomiyasu
mm,
was a centre back. It's
yeah,
everyone is a centre back. The only odd one out is Zinchenko, who is a midfielder.
yeah. I mean, even Timber played at centre back a lot.
He was a centre back who could cover fullbacks when he
Mm,
was that by United. Just like this Hato guy is. Yeah, he has played left back more times, but that's because that is the place where there is space in the team, not because
mm.
that is what he grew up playing.
Yeah, and it used to be the way all centre backs used to come through at fullback first, learn the game, you know, get experience, then move to centre back. Strange how
Even
it's kind of died out.
and he can cross for love no money.
Yeah.
Come on.
Um. So anything else? Because we're coming to the end of the time. We only get 40 minutes on this. We've got to be concise, and like before, where we could ramble on for 14 hours. Like we used to end up another hour after we'd switched off as well, didn't we, Gavin? So
That is something we might still do.
yeah,
You never know what happens behind the curtains.
yeah. Well, I still call. You know, we can still call back again later if we want. Anyway, after this is. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to add on the Frimpong thing, or should we? Because I
No,
can't think of any.
the Frimpong deal isolation. I am very interested how it goes.
Mm,
But especially when I look at the other deals or the transfers happening in and around Liverpool, I am very, very, very interested, very excited to see how this whole squad, the whole setup evolves, because it's not completely a like for like change anywhere on the field. So it's
no,
gonna
no,
be a very good. a very good thing for everyone to look at, observe, because ultimately you're changing, like you're basically changing the title winning team
Mhm.
completely.
Yeah, it's like he's done a rebuild of a title-winning team. That's astonishing. It's not normally done. It's brilliant, though. It's exciting. It's a great time to be a Liverpool fan right now, and I'm just hoping it stays that way when the season starts. You know, and they don't and
Let's
they
just
don't
hope
all struggle to hit it off.
3 months later we have the same energy. Let's just hope we have the same energy 3 months later.
Yeah, yeah. 3 months time, I might be crying on this podcast. But anyway, at the moment, it's all great. So, right, I suppose we may as well call it there, and we'll see you next time because it's not a Tuesday or a Thursday anymore. It's just going to be when we can get them done. See you
Yeah,
next time.
no, see you next time if and when we can manage.
Yeah,
It could be tomorrow, it could be 6 months down the line, heck, it could be after Slot retires. No
yeah.
one knows.
Let's just hope this has worked first, because otherwise it might be 6 months before we can figure out how to make it. It might be 6 months before we can get round to testing it again.
We will see. We will see. In the meantime, enjoy your time with Frimpong Liverpool fans. Everyone else, start your hate watch.
Yeah. Right, and next time out, it's hopefully all being well. It'll be Matthias Cunha we do talk about.
That's a teaser for everyone. Thumbs
Oh
up.
yeah, I'm sure that'll really
Fingers crossed.
excite them. But yeah, all right. So see you next time.
Bye bye.
Oh, stop.